Hello students, myself Nimesh Prabhakar. Welcome to Process Control Lecture Series. In my previous lecture, we discussed about the feed-forward control system and feedback control system. That means we discussed about the advanced control techniques. In that chapter, we discussed about the feedback control system and feed-forward control system. Now, in this lecture, we discuss about two more control strategy. That means first we discuss about the cascade control, and then after we discuss about the ratio control. So in this lecture, we discuss two more control strategy. First one is the cascade control, and then second one is the ratio control. So now we start with the cascade control. So first of all, we understand why cascade control is required, or we can say why we study this cascade control system. So it should be not that a simple closed loop control system is not a panacea. It cannot perfectly solve all problems. We know there are some limitations or the limitation of the feedback and feed-forward control system. One of the problems is that non-control engineers often expect a simple loop to operate perfectly. Happily, there are many design changes we can make to improve the degree of control. Cascade control allows us to share the work between two or more controllers. So this control system is shared, or we allow us to share the work between two or more controllers. So this is the simple block diagram of cascade control system. You can see here. Here we use two controllers. Why we use two controllers? Now we understand. As name suggests cascade, so we can understand the series connection of two controllers. So cascade control is the technique of nesting one control loop inside the another. You can see here in this diagram, this is the one control loop. Inside first one is the big control loop, and inside that control loop you can see this is the second one control. So this is the technique of nesting one control loop inside the another. It allows the workload to be shared between the two loops. The name derived from the fact that the output of the outer controller is cascaded into the set point of the inner controller. So here the name is derived from the fact that the output of the outer controller, we can see this is the outer controller, is cascaded into the set point of the inner controller. So that's why here name is given the cascade controller. By sending the workload between two controllers, the advantage of the closed loop control are increased. So this is the one advantage of this cascade control over the feedback control system. Now the accuracy, speed of response, settling time after a disturbance, and any control error are all improved in this control system. The cause is that you need a second measuring device, which can be expensive, especially when initially costs are considered. So this is some limitation, or we can say the limitation of cascade control system. So here we require the second measuring device. So it increased the cost, but it increased initial level. So, but it provides better control than the feedback control system. So this is good as per the quality point of view. Now we learn the cascade control system. So here the following is the cascade control system with the level control cascade into the flow control. The level controller output is fed into the flow controller set point. So here this you can see this the LC indicate the level control and the FC is indicate the flow control. So here the level controller output is fed into the flow controller's set point. Now the inner loop of the cascade pair is there to assist the outer loop. It would only be control loop in the isolation if the cascade were to be taken off and the control loop operator were to run the flow controller by hand, that means manually. Usually this would not be the case, and so the job of the inner loop is to reduce the effect of disturbances within the inner loop. As a result, removing steady state error is not necessary function. The outer loop can remove the steady state error in the level and the flow will balance anyway. Now we understand the advantages of this cascade control system. So first one advantage is that better control of primary variable. Then second one advantage is primary variable is less affected by the disturbance. So this is the second one advantage. That means the primary variable is less affected by the disturbance due to the cascade control. Now third one is faster recovery from disturbance. That means response time is fast as compared to the feedback control system. That means here the faster recovery from the disturbance. Then after increases the neutral frequency of the system. Then they reduce the effect of magnitude of a time lag. That means here the time lag, that means this the control lag we can reduce, or we can reduce the magnitude or the time of the time lag. So these are the advantages of this. The next one advantage is improve the dynamic performance. So here the cascade control system improve the dynamic performance of the system. And last one is provide limit on the secondary variable. So these are the advantages of the cascade control system. Now we discuss about the second one control system, and the name of this system is the ratio control system. The ratio control is used to ensure that two or more flow are kept at a constant ratio even if the flow are changing. That means we use this ratio control system. Where we require ratio control system? So first one point indicate the ratio control system is used to ensure that two or more flow are kept at a constant ratio even if the flow are changing. So the ratio control system is required in many chemical industry where we deal with the two or more chemical. So at that time, if we require the ratio of the chemical constant, so at that time we require the ratio control system. This ratio control system is maintain the ratio of this product. Ratio of this system in the constant manner. Ratio control is special type of feed-forward control where two disturbances are measured and held at constant ratio with each other. So this is the special type of feed-forward control system, and in this, two disturbances are measured and held at a constant ratio with each other. So this is the ratio control system. Now we discuss when we require this ratio control system. So which are the application of this control system? So first one is to keep a constant ratio between the feed flow rate and the steam in the reboiler of a distillation column. So in the distillation column, we require the ratio control system. So to keep a constant ratio between the feed flow rate and the steam into the reboiler, that is the bottom product of a distillation column. Then another use is to hold the reflux ratio constant in the distillation column. So this is the another use of this ratio control system. Then third one is to control the ratio of two reactors entering a reactor at a desired ratio. So this is the also used in the reactor. That means in the reactor we use the two reactors. That means this is a one chemical reactor and we use two reactors. And here we have to require the constant ratio of that reactor. So we use this ratio controller and make the constant ratio of this system. And the last one, we require to maintain the correct air and fuel mixture for the optimal combustion. That means in the boiler we require this ratio control system to maintain the air and fuel ratio. So these are the use of this ratio control system. Now we discuss how it works. So by using this configuration, we understand the working of this ratio control system. So ratio control system we can use differently. So first we understand, and we have given the name is the configuration 1. So here you can see in this control configuration, we measure both the flow rate and take their ratio. You can see in the figure, this is figure, and in this configuration we measure both the flow rates and take their ratio. This ratio is compared with the desired ratio. That means our set point, we can say the set point as shown in figure. And the deviation between the two is used to generate the actuating signal for the ratio control. That means this is the simple configuration we can understand. First we measure both the flow rate and take their ratio. Then this ratio is compared with the desired ratio, that means with the set point, and the deviation between the two, that means this two value, is used to generate the actuating signal, that means controlling signal for the ratio control. Now we discuss about the second one configuration. See, this is the second one configuration. Here, in this configuration, the flow measurement of the wild steam A is provide the set point for the controllable flow steam B. So here you can see this is the FC indicate the flow controller and FT indicate the flow transmitter. And you can see this is the two steam A and B steam. So A is the upward motion indicator and B is the lower indicator. So here in this configuration, the flow measurement of a wild steam A provide a set point, that means it provides a set point for the controllable flow steam of the B. So this is the second one, configuration of the ratio. And now we discuss about the third one, configuration. So here you can see this configuration is applicable when both the steam are controllable. So this configuration will apply only when both the steam, that means we use the liquid from both the side or the steam, that both is the controllable. It is implemented with the double feedback loop as shown in this figure. So here each flow is maintained by individual feedback loop. You can see in this figure the each flow, that means upper one and lower one, is maintained by individual feedback loop. Here the error signal for the steam A is generated with a given set point SP, whereas for the steam B the set point is generated using the signal from A multiplied by a desired rate. So here in this figure, by using this figure, you can see the error signal for the steam A is generated with the given set point signal, whereas for the steam B the set point is generated using the signal from A multiplied by the desired rate. So this is the configuration 3 of the ratio controller. So in this lecture we discuss about the cascade control system, and then after we discuss about the ratio control system. So up to now we study 4 advanced control techniques, which are that first one we study feedback control system, then after we study feed forward control system, then today we study cascade control and ratio control. So these 4 systems are very important as per the GTU point of view. So many times the question asked in GTU in 7 marks, explain the cascade control system or explain the ratio control system with example, or compare the feed forward control system with feedback control system. So this type of question asked in the GTU.